everybody, how are we doing tonight? Room's gonna look a little bit different. I've been doing some work on the studio. It's not quite perfected yet. Although I am, showing some spoilers for later. Anyway, it's not quite perfected yet. I've still got a little bit of work to do on our building space. But overall, I'm happy with where it's at the moment. And we're gonna have a nice, clean workstation to build on. As the title says, a $300 PC that anyone can build and mod the way we're going to do it today. This is a $300 PC. I've already done the benchmarks on it and then stripped all the parts out so that I can show you guys what to do. But the benchmarks on the thing, mwah, perfect. If you are looking to play, with the possible exception of like Red Dead Redemption, if you're looking to play cinematic story games, everything I tested came up at 60 frames or more. If you are looking to play esports games, everything I tested came up 144 frames or more. Like, $300 build, quick and easy, and the best part about this build is there is a complete and total upgrade path for everything. So you're starting at $300 and you're going as far as you want to go. So for all of you out there, and I know a couple people too, for all of us that have that friend that kind of wants to get into computers and kind of wants to get into computer games and kind of wants to get into building, but is terrified they're going to break a $1,000 machine if they try, aim this video at them. Because the purpose of this video is to prove that if you can plug something into an electrical socket, you can build this PC. It's that simple. And then from here, you can learn at your own pace about power supplies, about socket conversions, about CPUs, about DIMMs, about everything else. You can upgrade at your leisure, or don't, and stay where you are. But now you've got a friend that's in the PC gaming for $300. So there's going to be a $300 build. Anybody can build, anybody can mod. It's easy and it's simple, and everybody can do it. I promise you. And it comes in 3 parts. The first part is, you guessed it, a Dell Optiplex. Much like everyone else, we're going to do a Dell Optiplex build. Now, the reason we're going to do a Dell Optiplex build is twofold. Number one, the $200 Optiplex, or the Optiplex build will get us into a $300 PC that can play. Oh, son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Play pretty much everything. So number one, this is the quickest and easiest way to get someone that's not used to building into building. Number two, apparently, to be a tech tuber, your channel needs 2 things. You need a fake plant, which I got, and you need to have done an Optiplex build. Otherwise, you have no street cred. So, this is going to be our street cred right here. Street cred! I'd be doing better if I wasn't having technical difficulties. But, that's what happens when you're working in the lab late one night. But I think I got it sussed for now, at least. This is a $300 build that absolutely anybody can build. Caveat. At some point, if you're watching this on YouTube, you are going to want to go into the comment section and go, but I could get this cheaper at blah, 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 blah. You're absolutely right. I can show you a winning lottery ticket and say, this is how you get $1 million. Does that help you find a winning lottery ticket? No. I'm not negatively commenting on other YouTubers or other streamers and the way that they run their shows. It's their show. They can put up anything they want. For me, I don't want to do any budget builds that rely on unusual circumstances, because then you can't replicate them. I don't want to do the, here's my $40 PC video, even though it'll get 1 million hits. because every one of those videos is always, yeah, my uncle's brother's cousin's friend works at a place where they were just throwing out, you know, Lenovo PCs, so I got a PC for free, and I just upgraded my laptop in my streaming deck, so I have my old I have my old graphics card from that machine, so we're going to put that in. So the only thing we had to do was buy an SSD and a little bit of RAM, and we're good to go. And thus $40 PC, just like anybody can do. No, because not everybody's going to have those circumstances. So I'm not going to do that video. What I am going to do is a video that I can show you can do this as long as you know how to plug things into an outlet. You can do this, and you can build this PC, and it will not cost you more than $300. You can probably get it to work for $200 if you're savvy and, you know, want to watch your time and, you know, spend time looking for special sales and this and that and get lucky and know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who has a bumpy truck. But $300 is your worst case scenario. And your friend that wants to get into PC gaming but is terrified of blowing up $1,000 worth of hardware when they try to, you know, plug in a hard drive, show them this video, because that's who we're making this one for. Alright guys, we're going to get into it. Swerve! This one is a 30-20. Not a 70-20, not a 90-20, a 30-20. And I'll tell you why in a second. This bad boy, $129. This is a buy it now price from a regular dealer on this Optiplex. So you can pretty much guarantee you can always get one of these for $129. I'm right now winning an auction where I may pick one up for $55. So you're going to have some leeway, but don't pay more than $129. And if you'll notice, that even included shipping. Okay? So that's step one. The most important thing, as you can see right here, i5 4570. 4th gen. 4th gen. We need to be done with 2nd and 3rd gen crap. Go with the 4th gen. The Haswell architecture is going to be better, and it's going to be more functional than 2nd or 3rd gen. And in fact, the 4th gen i5 4570 actually outperforms the 3rd gen i7. So you're paying for lower performance because it says 7 instead of 5. The most important thing to do is make sure you get the i5 4570. Part the second. Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1650. The red-headed stepchild of this generation of graphics cards. Okay? There's a couple specific reasons. I already hear somebody typing that you can use a 1660 and get better results, yada yada yada. Okay. In most machines of this era, a 2000 series will not work because of the UEFI issue. And a 1660 or 1660 Super or 1660 Ti, you are going to have to flash the BIOS. Remember that this video is aimed at people that have never built a PC before. Flashing a BIOS is not entry level. So we're not touching it. But what we are going to touch is a graphics card that in fact needs no additional power. That means we also don't have to replace the power supply. So if we're not replacing a power supply, that means, oh, and by the way, the price on that GPU, regular list price, $149.99 for the half-size card. $149.99. That is Newegg. Now the last piece that you're going to want to pick up is going to be a SSD drive. This is a little, you don't technically technically need this one. You could probably build this for $275, but this is a quality of life thing. Make sure that your operating system is on an SSD. Now you can get a 120 gigabyte SSD. You can put your operating system. You can put your main game. You can put, you know, your web browser, your video player, whatever. On that, you'll have just enough space. So 129 and 150 and 20. That's going to get you a $300 PC. Now, if you're like me, you're going to order that SSD, and when it comes in, you're going to misplace it, and you're going to use a different one that you already have.
Whoops.
Okay? I don't know where it went. I legitimately don't. I've been knocking down walls in the house getting this studio ready. It could be anywhere. It could be nowhere. It might never even have gotten here because it got in with 2 other items that I ordered, and I know where both of them are, and they're still in the box that the SSD isn't in. So I don't know if I even got it or not. So I might be out 23 bucks. But regardless, this is what we're going to use for now. I made a point of not storing anything on here other than the operating system. So even though this one is twice the size of the one I just showed you, I'm not utilizing any of the extra size. So there's nothing that's going to... There's no cheat here. It's just a simple replacement. Alright. So, we're going to bring this over here. Hey there, man. Cheap PC. Yup. $300. Entire build. And I'm going to show you exactly how to build it right now. Okay, so. We open this bad boy up. The one drawback to using a 3020 over 720 or a 9020 is you only get 2 DIMM slots instead of 4. The main reason to go with a 3020 is everybody's hyped to 720s and 9020s, so they're $200 and up. If you get them the same way I got this one, which was $129. Again, if you can find a 720 or a 9020 for less than $129, get that one instead, and you're in the same ballpark. You're a sexy man building things and doing stuff. Well, we're trying. We had some technical difficulties earlier. Okay, so all you're going to do to build this PC, this is going to be as easy as literally plugging something into an electrical socket, because that's basically all you're going to do. You're going to plug 4 things into sockets. Okay? Assuming that your PC came with a hard drive, again, the advantage of buying one rebuilt from somewhere as opposed to, you know, a friend's, cousin's, uncle's, buddy. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, this is going to be your boot SSD. Right now, a lot of these old machines, you will notice there are going to be 2 different colors for the plugs for your SSDs, right? You're going to see 2 different colored plugs, usually a blue one, and then the others will be gray or white. The blue one is going to be where you want your operating system. That's where the computer is going to look for Windows. So, right now it's plugged in here. What we're going to do is we're going to take this plug out. We're going to put that plug into our SSD. Just like that. And we're going to plug in our power. Preferably not upside down. As long as you can plug in an outlet. Apparently I have outlet difficulties. Okay. Now, we plug in the other drive. Boop. This can just sit here like this. Don't worry about attaching that to anything, and I'm certainly not going to, because we're going to do some more modding in a minute. But that is going to, that's going to handle your boot drive. That'll make sure your computer load up nice and snappy. So that's 2 of our 3 components put together. Now all you need to do, take your graphics card, open up this beautiful tool list design, and remove however many gates are equal to the tongues on the graphics card, because that's how many slots it's going to take. So we're going to take out 2 gates. And if you're building on one of these Optiplexes, hold on to those, because unlike most of your newer cases, those are completely reusable. Line up the PCB, aka the circuit board, with the slot on your hard drive. It's an odd angle because I'm trying to make sure you guys can see.
You should see yourself. Do you have any idea what
go.
it looks like right at this moment, Spike? What? Or rather,
Unless you get a satisfying click.
the same blood.
There we are.
Both of us. The blood of a beast.
Done.
Wanders. Hunting the blood of others.
You can plug in an outlet.
Blood, all that kind of.
You can update this PC. Now, you will use these outlets here, and display or an HDMI for your video. Done. PC's ready to go. You're going to want to update drivers, obviously, and if this is a new boot, you're going to want to put your operating system onto your SSD drive. I'm not going to explain how to do this in this video. It's actually very simple. Look up any other tech tuber, you're going to find out how to do it. It's simple. So adding an SSD is as easy as a new fan. I mean, pretty much. A fan only has 1 plug, an SSD has 2, but that's it. You've got one plug that's going to run to your motherboard and 1 plug that's going to run to your power supply. Done. That's all you need to do. At that point, you just close this door up. Hook everything up, and you are ready to take on the world of PC gaming with a $300 PC that has 4 gigs of VRAM in the graphics card. Now, the reason why I say this is great for anyone that wants to get into PC building, from here, from this point, if you want to learn how to tinker, if you want to learn how to mod, if you want to learn how to build PCs, the world is your oyster, because every single thing in here can now be upgraded. You are going to more than likely want to replace the power supply. As a matter of fact, there are probably already people making comments on YouTube saying how they would never ever ever use a Optiplex on the basic power supply, or how there's no way the graphics card can run on the basic power supply. I actually tested it not only on this machine, but also on a old Gateway and an old HP. And in all 3 of them, it worked with the stock power supply. And worked without a BIOS change. Which is why you want to use a 1650 instead of the 1660. If you use a 1660, you may have to do an upgrade to the BIOS, and flashing a BIOS is not basic computing, so we're not worrying about any of that right now. But, you want to upgrade the power supply. Alright, go for it. Neat thing about that, especially if you're using the 3020 instead of the 7020 or the 9020, is this has only got an 8-plug power. So when you upgrade your power supply, not only are you going to learn how to upgrade a power supply in this, but you're also going to learn how to upgrade a power supply using a converter to go from 24 pin to 8 pin. Don't worry, it's simple. It's just one more thing to plug in. But once you've done that, you'll never worry about doing another power supply or PSU in your life, because you've already done the harder version. Is the power supply usually the first bottleneck? No, but it's the first thing you would need to replace to address the first bottleneck. The bottleneck on this board is probably, from what I've seen doing my testing, going to be the fact that I've only got 8 gigs of RAM. There's a couple ways to address this. Either I can buy 2 8-gig sticks instead of 4, which is what I'm probably going to do. Or, if I was interested, I could get 2 more sticks of 4 and a motherboard out of a 7020 or 9020 and replace the motherboard with a motherboard that has 4 DIMM slots. Now I can put in 4 sticks of 4 and have 16. And that would teach you how to replace the motherboard and also how to see the CPU and all kinds of fun stuff. Now, the motherboard, again, you're like, oh my god, this is crazy. This is like some in-depth stuff here. I'm going to waste a lot of money if I break it. Except you're not, because a replacement motherboard out of a 7020 costs $18 on average on eBay. So you're risking $18. Give it a try. So, you can replace the motherboard. You can replace, you can add DIMMs or add better DIMMs. You can upgrade the i5 to an i7. You can add extra fans. You can replace the existing hard drives with larger SSDs. Basically everything except the graphics card you have the ability to upgrade and play around with. So you can do whatever you want, and you're never going to risk more than $40, $50, $60 tops on any one component when you're trying this. So you don't have that anxiety of, I'm going to break $1,000 worth of stuff. Trust me, I know what that anxiety feels like. Anyone that's currently in PC building, anyone that's currently an enthusiast, went through it at one point. And it sucks, and it's a clench moment. But, you know, play around with $30 instead, and you don't get it quite as clenchy. Now, if this were any other channel, this is where we would be done with this build. However, we're primarily here for case mining, which means this isn't where we end. This is where we begin. Because I am going to show you how to make this resemble this. Welcome to our Optimus Prime Optiplex case model. Sit down, strap in, we're going to have some fun.
Hello everyone, this is Editing Class Elitist. Just wrapping this one up. Wanted to make sure that you were aware the music you were listening to was produced and written by Kenshiro. If you're interested in more of his work, make sure you check out the Bandcamp link that'll be down in the description below. Also, there's one very important thing that I would like you all to do in the next week. Make a comment below. Do you want the name of this build and this series about it to be the Optiplex Prime or the Optimus Plex? Whichever one gets the most comments before the next video of the series goes up, that's what the series is going to be named. Now the next one is actually going to be a benchmarking video, which will go up next week, and then we will have an actual modding video where we start to mod the case the week following that. Also, you will notice that I got a little bit of a fade going on that we got done while we were in between filming and editing. That'll give you guys kind of an idea as to what the delay on these videos are. I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's on lockdown, right? Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, please hit the like. If you have not, do me a favor. Not only do I want you to hit the thumbs down button, but please, in the description below, tell me what we can do to make the video better that would make it more interesting for you, because I want these to be good for you guys. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so you can see if I take your information to heart or not. I want to thank you all for being here. I hope you have enjoyed this video. There will be more to come. Anyway, everybody, have a great one, and I will catch you all next time.